guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Plamena if you're new, and if you're returning, thanks for watching. So in this video, I wanted to share some real actionable practical tips on how to get started in our self-love journey. We're in this together, but quite often the advice that I tend to hear, just love yourself, making it seem like it's just an on and off switch, doesn't really resonate with me. I'd say self-love compares more to a muscle that we need to exercise every day. So in this video, I wanted to unpack a couple of actionable tips that'll help us get started in our self-love journey. Self-love, to me, is forgiving the past and arriving in the now. And that means not focusing on the things that you could have done, would have done, should have done. That just means accepting it, learning it, and moving forward. Plus, the time you spend dwelling on things from the past is time that you are not focusing on things that you can control in the now. We're not all perfect, we're all human, and I think it's come to a time where we just gotta accept it. So an observation I've had recently is people tend to engage in the process of rumination. So that means just they engage in a lot of negative self-talk and start digging their grave into a lot of like deeper, more negative thoughts, and then they get more depressed, and then this process keeps repeating itself. And it's really unfortunate because what you think is what you attract, right? So that negative self-talk just gets them to sabotage themselves even more. And sometimes there's not even any real issue. So the plan of action here that I have is, if I hear something like, when you notice you're in the process of rumination and you're just complaining for the sake of complaining and there's nothing you're actively trying to solve, that is when you need to limit and stop that negative self-talk, because that's the ability to believe in yourself and to reach your own potential. And here's why it's dangerous. Like, this is the most important part, is whether you believe something is true, you're great or you're not great at something, it's gonna happen regardless. There's a famous quote saying that whether you believe that you can do something or you can't do something, you're right either way. So it just becomes that self-fulfilling process of prophecy. So here's the catch. Here's what you can do. So the plan of action here is just try to notice, gain that self-awareness. Every time you have that negative self-talk, call it out and just try to limit that. I know it's harder said than done, but here's one tip that's really helped me, is in Mel Robbins' book, The 5-Second Rule. She really does an excellent job at calling it out. She says, name your inner critic. For example, I've named my inner critic Daphne. Daphne's different than me. She's just an old lady that complains all the time. And every time there's something bad that you want to complain about, just call it out. It tends to become super ridiculous and very obvious that that's her problem and not mine. And you tend to start laughing about it. And you tend to just start thinking, oh, that's her, I'm the positive one. So you can just lay it out, say it out, and then move on. So that's my tip of the day here. Another key factor in self-love is getting enough sleep. And I won't stop repeating this because getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep seems very typical, but actually 35% of North Americans do not get enough sleep. That's 1 in 3 people. That's insane. And to that, so on average, they tend to sleep 6.8 hours, which is barely hitting that threshold of enough sleep. So to me, no matter how much cleaning I've done in my environment, how much cleaning I've set myself up for success, I've eaten well, if I haven't had enough sleep, I'm really not setting my body or my brain up for success. I can't function and I can't reach that ultimate optimal level of productivity and get my stuff done during the day. The things that I'm supposed to be doing, things get dragged on, they get put on next day's to-do list. And overall that cycle tends to repeat itself. You tend to start taking naps during the day, and it just doesn't work out. So self-love, I'd say, is getting enough sleep so you can be your best and your highest self the next day. Self-love to me is creating a list of all the good things you've done. So this is especially important for people that tend to need to see, are very result driven, and tend to need to see the results to feel good about themselves and feel productive. So usually I tend to have a list of things, and if not all of those are not crossed off and accomplished, you tend to not feel as good about yourself because you put all your value on the things that you've done. Your productivity is highly tied to your self-esteem, and that is very dangerous. So creating a small list of wins that you've done, or just thinking about it out loud, just at the end of the day, even though you had to do these things, you did other things outside of that, or other tasks. You greeted this person, you inspired this person, you helped this person, you had value, you gave them advice, they gave you advice, and it gives you that sense of inner peace and that you are of service to others and you are helping, and that is self-love right there. And okay, and I like to leave you with just this. So taking it day by day. So it's a slow process. It takes time. Remembering Rome wasn't built in one day, and it takes a lot of time to get where you want to be. So just focusing on making yourself feel good one day at a time is what you can do to exercise that self-love. And again, I want to remind everyone that self-love is having your non-negotiables, and it's not taking a bubble bath because you just deserve it. I feel like that's just the society we live in. It's in the society of just rewarding yourself all the time. You earned it, you deserve it. But instead, it's having your non-negotiables ready so that you get to take that bubble bath at the end, instead of procrastinating by taking that bubble bath or whatever. This is just an example. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. Comment which one resonated with you the most. These are some actionable tips I have implemented in my life, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys!